Hello students, today we are going to study another sexually transmitted disease, syphilis. So what is syphilis? Syphilis is a systemic sexually transmitted disease caused by the bacterium called as Treponema pallidum bacterium. The three main modes of transmission of syphilis are from person to person through the unprotected sex when directly coming in contact with the infected person having syphilis cancre, from person to person even if there is no penetrative sex, then pregnant mother to the syphilis with syphilis to the fetus, that is from transmission from infected mother to the baby or fetus. Syphilis, it is named from a poem which was published by Italian physician and poet, that is Girolamo Fracastoro, who was a shepherd from Hispaniola and named syphilis, who angered Apollo and was given the disease as punishment. Treponema pallidum was described in 1905 by Chardin and Hoffman. So, syphilis, it is caused by Treponema pallidum. Modes of transmission is sexual, maternal fetal blood transfusion, rarely by other means of the transmission, and getting infected with the HIV. So the person who are having syphilis are more prone towards the HIV infection. So the Treponema pallidum is a type of spirochetes. These are nothing but the tightly coiled bacteria. These are long, slender, helically tightly coiled bacteria. They are gram negative in nature, aerobic, microaerophilic or anaerobic. They show corkscrew motility, that is the coiled motility. They can be free living or parasitic also depending on the other organisms. They are best known as those which cause the disease called as syphilis and Lyme's disease. Treponema pallidum is a spiral spirochete, that is a mobile of spiral varies from the length 4 to 14 and 5 to 20 microns and very thin, that is 0.1 to 0.5 microns, and can be seen on fresh or primary lesions by dark field microscopy or fluorescence antibody techniques. So this is the dark field microscopy wherein we can clearly see the spirochetes who are spiral in nature. So this is the fluid from the cancre, that is the syphilis cancre, that is infection caused by the syphilis. Congenital syphilis. Congenital syphilis usually occurs following vertical transmission of Treponema pallidum from the infected mother to the fetus in the uterus, but the neonates may also be infected during the passage through infected birth canal at the delivery. So in this picture you can see how this infection is occurring in the newborn babies. Morphology of the spirochete or the Treponema pallidum. So it has got axial filaments which are otherwise similar to that of bacterial flagella. Filaments are enabling movement of the bacteria by rotating in the place. Treponema pallidum cytoplasm is surrounded by trilaminar cytoplasmic membrane. Peptidoglycan in the cytoplasmic membrane provides rigidity and shape to the bacteria. It has got rich lipid membrane layer. 3 to 4 endoflagella are present. Special staining methods are also available. These methods are Fontana's methods and Livaudet's methods. So here in this picture you can see the presence of spirochetes or the Treponema pallidum into the cells. Treponema cannot be cultivated in the media, culture media. So it has got inability to grow in the media or culture media. Treponema are in vitro coupled with the transitory nature of the lesions and make diagnosis of treponemal infection impossible by routine bacteriological methods. Cultivation. Although treponemas are distantly related to the gram-negative bacteria, they do not stain by the gram method and modified staining procedures. Treponemas cannot be cultivated in the laboratory media and are maintained by subculture in the susceptible animals. Resistance. So how do the spirochetes or the Treponema pallidum produce a resistance? So they are getting inactivated in 1 hour at the temperature 41 to 42 degrees centigrade. They are also inactivated when they come in contact with the oxygen, soap, distilled water, arsenicals, mercurials and antiseptic agents. Modes of transmission of Treponema pallidum. Organism is very fragile, destroyed rapidly by heat, cold and on drying. Sexual transmissions are the most common form of modes of transmission, wherein it occurs when abraded skin or the mucous membrane come in contact with the open lesion of the syphilis. It can be transmitted to the fetus from the infected mother. Rare transmission occurs from the needle stick or blood transfusion. Pathology. So first, penetration. How does Treponema pallidum enters into the body? So it enters through the body through the skin and mucous membranes through the abrasions during sexual contact, also transmitted transplacentally, that is from mother to baby, then dissemination or invasion into the body. So Treponema pallidum, when enters into the body, it travels through the lymphatic system to the regional lymph nodes and then throughout the body through bloodstream. So invasion of central nervous system also can occur during any stage of the syphilis. Stages of syphilis. So firstly, primary stage, secondary stage, latent stage. So latent stage also can be divided into early latent and late latent. Late or tertiary phase, which may involve any organ, but main parts are neurosyphilis, cardiovascular syphilis and late benign syphilis, which is also known as gumma. Stage and pathological changes in the syphilis. First stage is the primary stage, which is called as syphilic cankre. Then secondary phase, it is causing rashes, lymphadenopathy, condyloma latum, etc. kind of infections. Then tertiary, it causes the infection in major organs like brain, causing neurosyphilis, aortitis, that is inflammation of aorta, that is cardiovascular system, and gummas, a more complicated type of infection. So in neurosyphilis, it causes meningovascular disease, tabes dorsalis and general paresis, which are infections related to the nervous system. Then aortitis, it causes aneurysms, aortic regurgitation or backflow of blood into the aorta. And in the third case, that is in gummas, it forms this infection, it causes infection in skin, bone and other organs. Now starting with the primary syphilis, that is called as the syphilic cankre. The incubation period is between 9 to 90 days. Usually it is approximately 21 days. It develops at the site of contact or inoculation. It multiplies at the site of entry. A small painless primary lesion called as cankre is formed. So what is cankre? Cankre appears on the external genitalia or corona of the penis, labia or vaginal wall, that is the reproductive organs of male as well as females. Also occur in the cervix, perianal area, mouth, anal canal, etc. It possesses hard ridge covered by a thick, glairy exudate rich in spirochetes. Serological tests are positive in 80% of the individuals at this stage. Next is stage is secondary syphilis. Secondary syphilis occurs at 2 to 10 weeks after formation of the cankre or primary lesion. Diffuse kind of symptoms are seen like fever, headache, skin pustules, etc. Usually disappear even without treatment. Secondary syphilis can cause skin rashes, nuclear patches in the oropharynx, then multiplication of spirochetes and blood dissemination through the blood, headache, anorexia, malaise, that is body ache, weight loss, nausea, vomiting, sore throat and slight fever is seen as signs and symptoms. There is temporary alopecia, that is loss of hair which may occur. Nails becomes brittle and pitted. Next stage is latent syphilis. So this occurs after several weeks, secondary lesions disappear and the disease becomes latent. No infections are produced at this stage except for the transmission from the mother to fetus, which is called as congenital syphilis. Now, transmission from the mother to child. This infection is transmitted in uterus and may have serious consequences in the fetus. Rarely, syphilis has been acquired by the transfusion of infected fresh human blood. Next is tertiary syphilis, so next stage. So it develops after many years in the person with untreated secondary syphilis. This leads to the appearance of degenerative lesions called as gummas in the skins, bone as well as nervous system. So there is reduction in number of spirochetes observed, but the degenerative lesions such as gumma are present in the different parts of the body. This affects 2 to 3rd cases of untreated syphilis, gummata or rubbery tumors, bone deformities, blindness, loss of coordination, paralysis and insanity. So these are the effects produced at the tertiary phase. Next comes the diagnosis of syphilis, that is, how is syphilis diagnosed? So firstly, the evaluation is based on 3 factors. First is clinical findings, that is from the clinical signs and symptoms, demonstration of spirochetes in the clinical specimen, presence of antibodies in the blood or cerebrospinal fluid. So these 3 are the major factor involved in the evaluation. More than one test should be performed. No serological test can distinguish between the other treponemal infections. Next is laboratory testing. So in earlier slides we saw the examination of the spirochetes by dark field microscopy or fluorescence antibody testing. Non-specific or non-treponemal serological tests are also done to detect the regain or utilized and screening test only. Then the specific treponemal antibodies are used as a confirmatory test for positive region test. Region is non-specific non-treponal test. Next, provisional diagnosis of syphilis. A presumptive diagnosis is possible with the sequential serological tests, example VDRL test and RPR test. Using the same testing method each time, confirmatory test should be performed. So first is DFA-TP test. So here in this test, the smears of exudates are fixed with the acetone. Direct fluorescent antibody, that is DFA, for Treponema pallidum test is performed using the fluorescent tagged anti-Treponema pallidum antiserum. Then serological tests which are used for the detection of syphilis depending upon the antigen. So serological tests are non-treponemal or standard test and treponemal tests. So in non-treponemal or standard tests, these include VDRL, RPR and Wassermann tests. But in the case of treponemal tests, it is FTA, ABS and TPHA tests. VDRL tests. So here each preparation of antigen suspension should be first examined by testing with known positive or negative serum controls. Antigen particles appear as a short rod forms at the magnification of about 100x. Aggregation of these particles into large or small clumps is interpreted as degree of positivity. Reactive on left, non-reactive on right. So here we can see the distinguishing of positive and negative tests of the VDRL. Next is RPR tests. So in this the serum or plasma is added to circle on card and spread, and 1 drop of antigen from a needle is added, rotated at 100 rpm per minute for 8 minutes, and results are read macroscopically. So here RPR appears to be more sensitive than VDRL. Treponema pallidum hemagglutinin test, that is TPHA test. So this is adapted to micro techniques. Tanned sheep RBCs are coated with the Treponema pallidum antigen from Nichols strain. Agglutination of the RBCs shows positive results. Positive FTA test for syphilis viewed with the fluorescence microscope. So here in this fluorescent microscope they are visible. Next, after diagnosis is prophylaxis and treatment. So every pregnant woman needs screening, because if a pregnant woman is suffering from syphilis, she can pass this on to the babies, which can be more complicated. Prevention: avoiding sexual contact with the diseased person, use physical barriers and antiseptics, prompt and adequate treatment for all new cases, follow up on the source of infection and contact so that they get them cured. Treatment of syphilis: for early syphilis or cankre, benzathine penicillins can be used intramuscularly. Procaine penicillin can be used daily for 10 days. If the patient is allergic to penicillin, then tetracycline, erythromycin, doxycycline can be used. Ceftriaxone is another alternative, especially in the neurosyphilis. So these are the treatments for the syphilis. So this is all about the etiology, pathophysiology, clinical features, types, signs and symptoms, and diagnosis and treatment of syphilis. Thank you.